how many people are lucky enough to chase their dreams and to be a professional tennis player.
Alex Eala's new look just broke the internet, and WTA stars are reacting with pure jealousy. And everyone is wondering why the tour suddenly feels uncomfortable. Because when she appeared with that transformation, the tennis world didn't just stare, it froze. A rising star stepping into her glow is one thing, but a rising star stepping into a level of confidence that threatens the old hierarchy, that's when admiration turns into envy. And in the shadows of the locker room, whispers about her new image have already started circulating, raising one question nobody wants to answer. Why does her new look bother so many people? Alex Eala's story was never supposed to be ordinary. Not for a young athlete who grew up carrying the weight of a nation's expectations, nor for a player whose journey was carved out of hunger, discipline, and quiet rebellion. But 2025 changed everything. This was the year Alex stepped out of the shadows and into a spotlight so bright that even the WTA veterans began to notice the shift. Just months earlier, Alex was known simply as the Filipina fighter, the teenager with a relentless baseline game and a heart that refused to quit. She was climbing, yes, but she wasn't yet the name journalists opened press conferences with. She wasn't yet the player whose matches drew thousands of unexpected new viewers. And she certainly wasn't the athlete whose appearance, not her forehand, not her footwork, but her appearance, could shake the entire tennis world. But success does something to people, not just to the one earning it, but to everyone watching. During the 2024-2025 stretch, Alex earned breakthrough results that made analysts pause and made fans believe a shift in women's tennis was coming. Upsets against higher-ranked players, long, gritty matches where she clawed back from deficits that seemed impossible, a mental toughness that commentators compared to seasoned champions. She wasn't just winning, she was evolving. And the evolution wasn't just on court. Her social media following exploded. Her interviews became more confident. Her presence, the way she walked, the way she carried herself, began to resemble someone discovering who she truly was. The pressures of junior tennis were long gone. What remained was a young woman shaping her identity. But newfound confidence is often misunderstood. Those who admired her saw a champion blooming. Those who feared her rise saw a threat. And those who had held comfortable spots in the hierarchy saw their positions shaking. Because in women's tennis, the rankings don't just decide the order of play, they decide the order of attention, of sponsorships, of influence. And a rising star disrupts everything. By early 2025, Eala had entered a new phase of her career. No longer the underdog, no longer the quiet newcomer. She was now a contender. Young, magnetic, and unstoppable. Her fan base grew more protective. Media outlets grew more interested. And the WTA locker room grew more observant. That's when it happened. A single post. A single appearance. A single transformation. And suddenly, the tennis world realized something they had never fully acknowledged before. Alex Eala wasn't just becoming a great player, she was becoming a presence capable of shifting energy, a presence capable of drawing massive attention, a presence capable of making others, even established stars, uncomfortable. And as whispers began circulating about her newfound confidence, one question silently hovered over the tour. How will the WTA react when a young star begins to shine in a way that can't be ignored? Because the moment her new look appeared, the reactions weren't just strong. They were emotional. And they were only getting started. It happened quietly. No press conference, no dramatic debut, no announcement. Just a picture. A simple picture. Posted within seconds, shared within minutes, and dominating the tennis world within hours. Alex Eala stepped into the public eye with a completely new look. The kind of transformation that didn't just upgrade appearance, it upgraded aura. It wasn't forced. It wasn't exaggerated. It was simply different. Sharper, bolder, more expressive. It was the look of someone stepping into her confidence, unapologetically. And the internet lost its mind.
Within minutes, fan pages were reposting it, comment sections flooded with fire emojis, stunned reactions, and messages of support. Glow Up trended across multiple platforms. Media outlets ran headlines about her transformation. Even style-focused blogs began comparing her shift to iconic athlete reinventions. But the real storm wasn't the public's reaction. It was the WTA's. Players who usually ignored social media suddenly became very active. Some dropped comments that were sweet, too sweet, the kind of sweet that tasted like sugar, hiding bitterness. Others stayed quiet, which in tennis circles often means more than posting anything at all. But the tension became obvious when one top-ranked player posted a cryptic story hours later. Funny how everyone suddenly wants attention. She didn't name names. She didn't have to. Fans instantly connected the dots. Comparisons emerged. Threads erupted. Speculation lit up the night. Then another WTA player commented, "Focus on tennis, not the glam." A line simple enough to sound harmless, but sharp enough to bruise. People noticed, people talked, people argued. But the real energy shift came from the players who watched silently, because silence often screams the loudest in elite sports. Silence means noticing. Silence means observing competition. Silence means discomfort. And make no mistake, Alex's new look didn't just display beauty. It displayed confidence. Confidence in the body of an athlete still climbing. Confidence that unsettled those who preferred her as the quiet newcomer. Confidence that reminded everyone she wasn't just growing her game, she was growing her identity. The jealousy became visible in the smallest ways. Passive-aggressive likes, comments replying only to each other, excluding her, small cliques posting pictures the same day, trying to shift attention back onto themselves. It was high school energy, from grown professionals, on a world stage. But why did Alex's transformation strike such a nerve? Because athletes don't just compete with forehands and serves. They compete with popularity, with marketability, with the spotlight. And Alex, without trying, had just taken a massive piece of it. The internet was celebrating her. The media was highlighting her. The fans were defending her. The WTA and locker room was not prepared for this. Behind closed doors, whispers turned into conversations. Conversations turned into tension, because for some, Alex's new look was empowering. For others, it was threatening. And they were about to show it.
The internet wasn't simply reacting, it was exploding. Overnight, Alex's new look became one of the most talked about topics in tennis. Hashtags formed, fan edits flooded TikTok. Sports journalists wrote think pieces about athlete reinvention. But while fans praised her glow and confidence, the reaction among WTA players was mixed, and not quietly. Some stars publicly supported her transformation. They commented things like, "Love this," "Queen move," "Confidence looks good on you." But fans quickly noticed something strange. The players who commented didn't usually interact with Alex at all. It looked friendly, yes, but a little too strategic. Almost as if they wanted to appear supportive before the real drama unfolded. Others reacted differently. A handful of mid-ranked players began posting photos of their own outfits, makeup looks, and media appearances aggressively, repeatedly, as if trying to overshadow the sudden spike in attention Eala was receiving. One player even posted, "It takes more than a new look to stay relevant." Again, no names. But timing is everything. And fans weren't clueless. The comments immediately filled with replies like, "She's talking about Alex. Just say her name. This is shade 100%. Twitter, or X, became a battlefield. Sides were being formed, comparisons were everywhere. Some fans defended Alex fiercely. "She's glowing because she earned it. Jealousy looks ugly on everyone else, not her. She didn't ask for attention, she attracts it." But others sided with her critics. "Focus on tennis. She's doing too much. This attention won't help her game." It was absurd. A simple change in style had turned into a debate about professionalism, image, and identity in women's sports. But the most intense reactions were from the players who didn't say anything at all. These were the ones fans watched most closely. Their silence felt heavy, like disapproval hiding between breaths. In press conferences that week, reporters tested the waters. Did you see Eala's new look? What do you think about the attention she's getting? Does the tour change when new personalities start rising? Some players answered with generic lines, "She looks nice. It's her choice. Everyone can express themselves." But their tones were tight. One answer in particular fueled the fire. "I just hope she focuses on her tennis." It was dismissive, it was patronizing, and it was unnecessary. Fans erupted, because deep down, the public sensed something bigger. Alex's new look didn't bother people because it was bold. It bothered people because it represented a shift, a young star discovering her power. And power is what players protect the most. The question was no longer how Alex looked. The question was, why does her confidence threaten the established order so much? And the tennis world was about to find out.
If the reactions online felt intense, the shift inside the tour was even louder. Suddenly, Alex noticed small changes, subtle at first, but unmistakable for anyone who understands athlete dynamics. Warm greetings became colder, locker room smiles became shorter, certain players stopped making eye contact, others began whispering the moment she walked by. Tension doesn't always show itself in dramatic moments. Sometimes it reveals itself in silence, exclusion, and the kind of energy that tells you you're suddenly being measured differently. Alex had stepped into her confidence. Others stepped back into their insecurities. Some players started making comments during practice sessions. "She's too focused on image now. I liked her better before. She's trying to be someone she's not." Nothing was said directly to her, because jealousy is almost never brave, but the message was obvious. They didn't like how popular she suddenly became. They didn't like how the media shifted toward her. They didn't like that she was becoming influential before they were ready for it. Because in sports, influence equals power. And power changes everything. Soon enough, journalists started asking Eala more questions than usual. Brands began reaching out. PR agencies noticed the spike in engagement. She wasn't just a tennis story anymore. She was becoming a cultural story. And jealousy only grows when visibility does. A few WTA players unfollowed her. Others stopped liking her posts. One even liked a comment that said, "She's getting attention for everything except tennis." That one hurt fans the most, and they retaliated aggressively, calling out the shade, defending Eala fiercely, and demanding respect for a young player who did nothing wrong except embrace her growth. Meanwhile, the commenters who once ignored her began monitoring her every move. The more she glowed, the more they watched. The more attention she received, the more they tried to regain their own. But the thing about jealousy is that it exposes more about the person feeling it than the person receiving it. Alex stayed mostly quiet, but the tension didn't fade. It grew. Some players changed their tone in pressers. Some avoided practice sessions where she was present. And in the competitive environment of women's tennis, where friendships are rare and rivalries can grow from the smallest spark, Alex's image shift became a symbol of new energy, new competition, new leadership. And for those who were comfortable in their positions, that was a threat. The fallout wasn't just emotional, it was psychological. Because every time Alex walked on court with her new aura, her opponents weren't just facing her game, they were facing the reality that the tour was shifting. And shift always comes with resistance. All because of a new look, a new confidence, a new presence that couldn't be ignored. But while others reacted with insecurity, Alex responded with something else, something that would define the next phase of her rise. Eala didn't release a statement. She didn't clap back on social media. She didn't fire subtle shots like others did. She did something far more powerful. She kept working. While the tennis world argued about her look, she buried herself in training sessions. While players whispered about her priorities, she intensified her workouts. While critics questioned her focus, she sharpened her game. Because confidence doesn't grow from attention, it grows from preparation. In interviews, she brushed off the drama without acknowledging it directly. When asked about the sudden attention, she replied with calm clarity, "I'm just trying to be the best version of myself, on the court and off it. Simple, direct, authentic. No pettiness, no shade, no defensive energy. Just a young woman owning her growth. And that answer irritated some players even more. Why? Because humility from someone gaining popularity is harder to digest than arrogance. Humility means she isn't playing the game they expect. Humility means they have no excuse to dislike her. Humility means she's focused. And that is the most threatening thing of all. Her coach later hinted in an interview that Alex is entering a new chapter, mentally and physically. He didn't elaborate. He didn't need to. Anyone watching her train could see it. She was evolving. And this evolution wasn't just about aesthetics. It was about maturity, discipline, emotional expansion. The new look wasn't a distraction. It was a reflection of transformation happening internally. Everything about her energy changed. She walked differently. She competed with more intention. She spoke with more clarity. She carried herself like someone who knew her value. And this terrified the players who only saw her as a rising junior, not a rising woman. Because a confident athlete isn't dangerous because of how they look. They're dangerous because of how they think. And Alex was thinking like a champion. Her focus became the truth that shut down all the noise. The more she improved, the more baseless the jealousy became. The stronger her performances, the weaker the criticism sounded. She didn't need to respond to the shade. Her tennis answered for her. Her work ethic answered louder. Her results answered loudest. And somewhere along the way, fans started asking, why are they so bothered by someone glowing? Why does her confidence intimidate them? What does her rise mean for the tour? Because this moment wasn't just a glow-up. It was a turning point. A shift in how young athletes express themselves. A shift in how women athletes claim identity beyond performance. A shift in how Eala sees her own power. And the WTA was suddenly aware that a new contender wasn't just growing, she was becoming unstoppable.
When the noise settles, and it always does, what remains are the truths that shape legacies. And Eala's viral transformation revealed something the tennis world had been ignoring for years. Confidence in women's sports isn't just accepted, it's feared. Not because confidence is threatening by nature, but because confidence breaks rules. It rewrites narratives. It challenges hierarchies. And Alex's new look did exactly that. It challenged the belief that young athletes should stay quiet, humble, and invisible until the world decides they're ready to shine. It challenged the unspoken expectation that women in tennis must fit a specific mold. Serious, but not too expressive, talented, but not too bold, visible, but not too dazzling. Her transformation forced people to reassess what strength looks like. Because strength isn't always a clenched fist or a grinding rally. Sometimes it's softer. A change in posture, a shift in eye contact, an aura that says, I'm not the same person I was before. And that kind of change threatens those who haven't evolved themselves. The players who felt jealous weren't reacting to a look, they were reacting to potential, to momentum, to popularity, to the idea that Alex was not just a competitor, she was becoming a force. Fans saw it, media saw it, brands saw it, and deep down, even her rivals saw it. This moment will be remembered, not as a fashion shift, but as the emergence of a new identity, a new stage in her career, a moment where the world stopped seeing Eala as the promising young Filipina player and started seeing her as a global contender with star power. Because this glow-up wasn't cosmetic, it was symbolic. Symbolic of growth, symbolic of independence, symbolic of the future she's building. And years from now, when documentaries look back at the rise of Eala, this moment will be more than a viral picture. It will be the beginning of her era. A chapter that asked one simple but powerful question. Was this just a new look, or the moment a new star was born?
Eala's transformation didn't break the internet because of appearance. It broke the internet because it revealed who she is becoming. Stronger, braver, more confident than ever. And if this is only the beginning, the WTA better prepare itself, because a new era doesn't announce itself quietly. It arrives with impact.
If you enjoyed this deep dive into tennis drama, make sure to subscribe because the next twist in the WTA world is coming faster than anyone expects.